What is this thing? It looks like an SUV coupe and a sedan had a baby. Come on, let's take a closer look. This ambitious looking car is the new plug-in hybrid from Peugeot, the 408 GT, and it's carving out a little niche for itself by blending the benefits of both body styles into the one car. But that means that there are a few direct rivals, the closest being the Citroen C5 X and the Cupra Formentor VZE. And in this video, I'm going to unpack whether this plug-in hybrid is worth a look, so stay watching. The 408 is only being offered in one grade for the Australian market, and that's the GT model, which is priced from $67,990 before on-road costs. That makes it the most expensive compared to its rivals, but you might not care because there are some benefits to it being offered in only one grade, and that means that this is quite well specified and has a long features list. Some of the highlights include a heated steering wheel, powered front seats with heat and massage functions, hello comfort, and Napa leather upholstery, wireless Apple CarPlay, and wireless Android Auto. The full specs are in my written review at carsguide.com.au if you need more info. There's a lot happening with the design of this because of the mashup of styles. The long, sleek body gives some sedan vibes, but it still gets tagged as an SUV because of its height. The rear has the classic coupe pinching, but all of the elements are blended quite well. It's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but I actually quite like it. Let us know in the comments what you guys think of it. The lights on this are a little bit different from other Peugeots, but you still see remnants of the original claw design in the taillights if you look closely. I'm really loving the long vertical LEDs at the front because they look like the fangs of a snarling cat, and that just gives the design an overall edge. The cabin is beautiful and it looks really sophisticated with the long and sleek dashboard, high-end tech screens, Napa leather upholstery, and the mix of synthetic leather trims. The front feels very roomy for my 168cm height, and I love the massage function on the seats. It's really nice on a long journey. The door sill lip does sit a little bit high, so sometimes it can feel a bit clumsy getting in and out of this car, but overall this row is very comfortable. Individual storage is pretty good for the class up front. I like the dual opening middle console and that you've got lots of little nooks in the center console as well. The charging options are good with each row getting 2 USB-C ports. The front also gets a 12-volt socket and the boot also gets a 12-volt socket. The 10-inch touchscreen multimedia system looks really good, and I like how you can customize the buttons here to the features that you actually use most often. It's quite clever, but the system itself I found to be quite unresponsive and laggy, and you'd touch something, especially the seat functions, you'd touch something and just wouldn't respond, which got annoying while I was on the go. I do like though that it has built-in sat-nav and that wireless Apple CarPlay was easy to connect to. I'm in the back seat and it's very comfortable and I have plenty of room for my height. I do think though that the amenities don't reflect the price tag of this car, just because there's no real luxury items back here, but you do get directional air vents, those USB-C ports, as well as map pockets and drink bottle holders in the door. You miss out though on fold-down armrest and cup holders. For any families out there, there are ISOFIX child seat mounts on the outboard seats plus 3 top tethers, but 2 seats are definitely going to fit best. The boot's a really good size at 471 litres. It's a mostly level loading space with just a little lip, so it's easy to slide things in and out, which is great. And you get a tyre puncture repair kit and a power tailgate in this model. The 408 GT has a 1.6 litre turbo-petrol engine and an 81 kilowatt electric motor, which produce a combined power output of 165 kilowatts and 360 newton meters of torque. More than an adequate amount of power for open road driving, and you can do a 0 to 100 kilometer sprint time in 7.8 seconds. The switch between the electric and petrol components isn't always seamless, but overall it's pretty smooth. I have found the power to be more than adequate for the type of driving I've done this week, which has included urban and open road driving. I've also found that it's very easy to keep your speed consistent on hills, and you have enough gumption to be able to cross traffic quickly. Steering is responsive and this car is pretty easy to maneuver in close quarters, but the lane keeping aid does very severe corrections, which can be a bit of a fright when the wheel will just suddenly jerk out of your hands. So do keep your wits about you when you're on the open road. Ride comfort's all right for a longer journey, but you do feel the bumps when you hit them, and you do get some vibration through the steering wheel and seats depending on the road surface you're on. I also noticed that you get pretty low-key road noise no matter what speed you're going at. Despite the narrow back window, the visibility in this is actually very good. And it's easy to park as well because it's not too big and it has a very clear 180-degree view camera system. I do think it would have benefited from a 360-degree view camera system just because the top-down view camera feed only shows once you drive over the space. So most of the time you park and then you actually have the full camera feed. The official combined fuel cycle consumption figure is 1.5 litres per 100 kilometres, but that's if you were recharging the car every time the range dropped out. My real-world consumption sat at a low 5.5 litres after mostly open road and a little bit of urban road driving in there. I also only charged it every other day as that's been realistic for my family life. So still good consumption, but nowhere near as close as that 1.5 litre mark. The 408 GT has a Type 2 charging port and a small 12.4 kilowatt hour lithium ion battery that accepts up to 3.7 kilowatts of power. You can get up to 60 kilometers of pure electric driving range from that, and on a domestic socket you can go from 0 to 100% in around 6 hours. That drops to 3.5 hours on a 7 kilowatt AC power charger. So a little bit slow, but still worth it if you're going to charge overnight. The 408 is so new that it doesn't have an ANCAP safety rating yet, but that might not bother you because it does have a long safety features list, and it includes all of the biggies like blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert, and AEB. I also like how the blind spot monitoring is available up to 80 meters, which is great. The 408 does only have 6 airbags, which is quite low in my opinion, and misses out on the newer front center airbag and any driver's knee airbags as well. The full safety specs though are in my detailed written review at carsguide.com.au if you need more info. The 408 comes with a 5-year unlimited kilometre warranty, and the battery is covered by an 8-year up to 160,000 kilometre warranty. Both terms are average for the class. You can pre-purchase either a 3, 4 or 5-year servicing plan, which all work out to be cheaper than the pay-as-you-go option. And on the 5-year plan, it costs $2,000 or an average of $400 per service, which is very reasonable for the class. Servicing intervals are good at every 12 months or 15,000 kilometres, whichever occurs first. The Peugeot 408 GT plug-in hybrid is a little bit expensive but well specified and sports a killer design that looks fresh. Yes, the tech could be a little bit better, and like all plug-ins, you get the best economy if you charge it often, and that's not always realistic. Still, the cabin is roomy and it's easy enough car to drive, so it gets a 7.8 out of 10 from me. If you're after more details, check out the full review at carsguide.com.au, and I'll see you next week.